what, Natalie, was the first course concept? And is it still what you're utilizing as the foundation as you continue to grow?
Yeah, so my very first offer is still something that I offer. It's called She is Confident. So it's a confidence coaching program for Christian women, helping them go from insecure and unsure to confident and bold so that they can fulfill all God's calling them to and live in a lasting confidence. It's a 6-week program, and it was my very first offer. I was shocked that I did $30K my very first month. That was like, almost a year's salary for me. Like it was mind boggling. And I leveraged neuroscience and biblical principles to really bring about mindset shifts that ultimately lead to confidence. I do still offer that. And we kind of evolved though from there, and I've had different offers since then. But yeah, that was like my baby whenever I rolled it out.
So good. That's so good. And as God was speaking to you initially in 2019, did the idea evolve or change in that 2-year time frame because of COVID? Did that have any play in like what it was that you wanted to present? Or e-courses were like what you knew was the thumbprint?
Well, I had kind of always wanted to do e-courses because I'd found someone that I just really liked, and that's what she did, and I followed her, so that influence was really heavy for me. But in 2019, I had no idea what I would offer.
Okay.
I just have had kind of like this, I don't know if you could call it blind confidence. I don't know what you would call it. Well, it really came from, I had a job when we first moved here, and I was a door-to-door sales rep for a staffing company. Okay, staffing.
That's crazy.
Yes, so I would go to business, and I would have to like have this whole process that I would go through to sell staffing. Staffing of all things. And I got pregnant during that time, and I was about to leave for maternity leave. And I look back now, and it had to have been God, because I don't think I would have thought about this at that time, but an idea popped in my mind, and I was like, I wonder how much money I brought into this company by myself this year.
Ooh, good question.
Yes. So this was 2017. So I sat down, I looked at all my contracts, and I looked at all the money that I had brought into that company, and I had brought in $1.1 million. And I was like, I'm selling something I don't even care about. Half the time I'm not even trying because I'm so pregnant. I'm just here for the insurance at this point. I want out so bad. I would rather be doing anything other than this. And yet I sold $1.1 million. And a light bulb just kind of went off in my head at that point. And I'm like, I could probably sell anything if I could sell that. So fast forward to 2019, I was just kind of like, I don't know what I'm going to sell, but I bet whatever I sell a bunch of it,
That's so good. That's so good. And I think as people are processing this, I talk about being a millionaire messenger a lot. And it's not about necessarily making that 7 figures in 1 year, though I am obviously a massive proponent of if someone has been able to steward the little, I believe that they should have the much, because we need it in the kingdom. That's what we're here to do, is to multiply and to expand. And at the same time, there's this scarcity mentality. And I'd love to know if you've had this encounter either with people who have come in through business coaching with you now that you've had this growth, and or in your church population, because you said that the leaders were like, no, you can't have a business and ministry. Has that thought changed? Have they seen this growth and the poverty mentality kind of shift as well into this abundance mindset, which is biblical?
Yeah. Yes. So throughout like our tenure over the last 8 years with our church, the oversight of the church went through a transition in 2020 because we stepped into revival. And when we stepped into revival, the overseers, they lovingly wanted to hand us off because they had never stewarded revival before, and they did not know. They were like, we don't even know how to pastor you through this. So that's when they handed us off to Apostle Ryan Lestrange, and he is an avid proponent for ministers being in business.
Yep.
And that was kind of like green light, put the pedal to the metal here, go as fast as you can. And that really helped me step out and start. But yeah, to this day, especially whenever I'm having an offer that's about business coaching, sometimes I will tactfully income share. And I income share because if I'm going to teach you how to, create, launch, and scale an online business, I would hope that you care that I've made money in the space, because that's kind of the result we're after, right? It's like, if someone's going to teach you how to work out, I hope they know how to work out, right?
Yes, 100%. So please show me that you have the capacity to have abs. Great. Okay.
Exactly. If you don't have abs, I don't want you to teach me how to have abs.
Exactly.
So I found it. I was honestly surprised when I started kind of like income sharing, how quickly even people that I was surprised that they did, that they had more of a scarcity and a poverty mindset. And I have encountered it, to answer that part of the question. But for me personally, I just feel like, God, it says that heaven is paved in gold, and King Solomon was the wealthiest man to ever live, and Abraham was well provided for. Jesus was provided for by wealthy women who gave to his ministry. That's what the Bible says. The Proverbs 31 woman is an entrepreneur. She saw the field, she bought it. It was a vineyard. She created a vineyard. She saw her products were good. She took them to market. So for me, I think that God has always wanted us to step into that realm, especially as women. And Proverbs 10:22, it says the blessing of the Lord maketh rich, and he adds no sorrow. So that's kind of like my life verse. So I've encountered it, but I'm thankful I've overcome it.
Yeah.